Imagine, if you will with me, that you have an opportunity to go to Jerusalem for Passover. It's certainly an honor. And while it's required, especially for males, to go during the high holy days, sometimes it was just too expensive, or maybe you just live too far away to be able to get there. But those times when you can go, you would make sure there was nothing standing in your way. You would make it to Jerusalem. This year you're in Jerusalem. You're in the city. You're walking around. And all of a sudden you hear that this man named Jesus is coming to town. He's coming in. You've heard of this man, this prophet, this holy one who has gone about the city and the countrysides teaching and healing people. Maybe you even know someone who was healed by Jesus. This is truly an exciting day for you. For not only do you get to come to Jerusalem for Passover, but you get to see Jesus enter the city yourself. And you do everything that you can to get over to that gate so that you can see him coming in. You're piled along the streets with all the other people who want to see Jesus. You're with people who want to celebrate Jesus coming in. You're celebrating his work. You're celebrating his healing touch. You're celebrating his ministry. You're celebrating the man. And as you're waiting for Jesus to come down the road past you, you look up and you see the religious leaders standing by the temple. They're looking and watching to see what's going on. And then there he is. You can barely see some movement further down the road. He's on a young donkey. You even see people laying down their cloaks. They're taking them off and laying them on the road. And they have some palm branches and they're laying them on the street so as the donkey is moving down the road, the donkey's feet is not touching the dirt. And you can see the crowd moving as he is approaching you. People are cheering. People are praising God. You are too. You're with those people and you're singing and you're crying out of joy. That joy is just filling the air around and all through the people. And you are just completely caught up in this joyful atmosphere. You see Jesus finally across from you and you too cry out, Hosanna! Along with the people that are standing next to you. Your voices are rising together to praise Jesus. And as Jesus goes past you, you see as he gets down by those religious leaders that all of a sudden he stops. You wonder what's going on, so you kind of work your way through the crowd. You want to know what's going on. And then you hear the religious leaders. They're telling Jesus, you need to tell these people to be quiet. You need to tell them to stop shouting and to stop singing. I mean, it's not as Jesus is conducting everybody as he's riding along on his donkey. People are doing this on their own accord in celebration. Jesus doesn't give an order to tell the people to stop praising. It's not like he said to the people, okay, folks, here I come. I want you all to start cheering now. The people broke out in cheers and hallelujahs and hosannas because of the joy that was within them. The joy of Christ within them. But Jesus does reply to the religious leaders. And I can almost imagine Jesus laughing within himself as he goes to tell them, and he's probably thinking, they're never going to get what I'm trying to say to them. Even if these people stop shouting, the rocks themselves would cry out. Could you imagine a rock? A rock praising God. A rock singing out with Hosanna.
Yes.
Because the people have been told they can't. Are you shouting out as a rock would do if someone else said to be quiet? Paul reminds the Philippians, and through that letter, he's talking also to us. Jesus is God. But he didn't exploit being God when he came to serve. Jesus emptied himself.
Yes.
He was born like a human. He grew up like a human. And Jesus, the man as God, became a slave and a servant to all people. He humbled himself before God. He humbled himself before the religious leaders. He humbled himself before his disciples. And we still continue to see the humbleness of Jesus before our own eyes. He was obedient. He was obedient to his calling. He was obedient unto death. This man, the one that people praised, the one that even the rocks would cry out to, the one that we praise here each and every week, was God, who lowered himself for us. Today and every year, we continue to celebrate Palm Sunday as we begin through the Passion of the Holy Week. We remember what's going to happen in this coming week in the life of Jesus. We continue to praise Jesus for all that Jesus has done in our lives.
Yes.
From giving of his life to touching us and making us whole.
Yes.
We too continue to shout out to Jesus with our love, with our gratitude, with our appreciation, with all that we are thankful for. We give praises to Jesus for that gift of grace in our lives.
Yes.
And remember, even if we won't speak, even if we're not shouting out, the rock will do it for us. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing that will stop the rejoicing of God's people in the presence of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
This morning, as our hymn of response, the choir will be bringing us a piece of special music.